How's it going, guys? Dawson Levan here with Channel 8 News, and welcome back to episode 2 of Flower City Frights. Now, last week we took you guys over to Duran Eastman Park for the Lady in White Castle. We got to hear all about the Lady in White herself, all of the hauntings and crazy stories about her. Now, today it's a different story. We're out in front of Union Tavern on Culver Road because we've heard a lot of crazy stories about this place, from cold spots to pirates to spirit boxes, all happening in this building right behind me. Now, come along with us as we uncover all those mysteries.
Alrighty, folks, so I'm now here inside Union Tavern on Culver Street, and we have the lovely Miss Kelly right here, who is the owner. Kelly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. So can you give us a little bit of insight of the history of this building and maybe just a little taste on what kind of hauntings are in here?
Yeah, absolutely. The foundation dates back to 1819. The original owner was a gentleman named Sylvester Woodman, and he is rumored to be a Great Lakes pirate. So he and his wife Abigail lived here until the 1830s. Then the Bradstreet family took over. They purchased the property and built this beautiful building in 1856, and it remained a private residence only for a couple years in 1901 when it was another business, until 1948, and that's when the Behavior West met for the first time.
That's awesome. Now, you said a little bit there that the previous owner was rumored to be a pirate. Now, is there any kind of spooky story that's pirate hanging out around here at all?
Oh, definitely. We think that he hangs out with us down in the basement. Sometimes he plays with people's hair. There's a lot of neat things we think are attributed to Sylvester.
Now, to help us further explain some of the crazy details and more of this building, we are returning again with Jenny from Rochester Candlelight Ghost Watch. Jenny, thank you again so much for joining us. How's it feeling?
It's a good morning.
It is a good morning indeed. Now, Jenny, can you tell us any other cool stories and maybe elaborate on some of the further details of the spirits that haunt this place?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are several spirits here that are known to haunt the Union Tavern. So we have, of course, the house Stacy Lavinia. Lavinia and her husband built this home in the 1850s. And she must be very attached to it because she hangs out here and is known to clear the bright sometimes. And it's a really funny ghost. We also have several other ghosts. Yasaki, one of the former owners, is known to haunt the place, and these are a bit more of a quirky ghost. But yeah, there are several ghosts here.
It's crazy. Now, what kind of pranks you said that first ghost likes to play on people?
I believe it was Lavinia that used to torture this one waitress in particular when it was the Reunion Inn. Sometimes she'd go and blow out all the candles on the cable, or sometimes knock on the bathroom door, and you'd open the door and nobody's there.
Terrifying. Now, I just said the other ghost, like he does quirky things, is that him?
So in life, he was known to be a bit quirky. I'm told he liked to ride the dumbwaiter over here. He'd kind of cram his body in there and ride it up between the floors. And supposedly knock on the inside with the heel of his cowboy boot when he wanted to be let out by staff. But staff weren't super keen to open the door because he was known to only be wearing cowboy boots.
I mean, that is a good fashion place. Like, I'll give him that, but now, obviously, we're on the first floor of this building right now. There's a couple stories here as well. Is there any other kind of stories that haven't maybe upstairs? I hear there's just speakeasy upstairs.
Yes, we have the Bradstreet upstairs. It is one of the more haunted spots in this inn, in my opinion. Why don't we go check it out?
Good idea. So now we're heading into the speakeasy part of this building. I didn't even know there was.
Kind of rock when you walk around, but you'll notice there's you'll bubble around. And we just noticed in film I was doing what's as a disaster session, which is a spirit box session where one of the keeper had a cripple with a wine bowl. And the ear moves the entire time. The whole 12 minutes, it just walks back and forth when none of the other mirrors were moving. And we've checked for vents. We made sure the fan went off, windows were closed. and the mirror just will go.
Okay, now you said something that piqued my interest a little bit. You said you were doing what kind of ceremony here?
We were doing a spirit box session using what's Estes method, is where one investigator wears headphones and a blindfold to kind of block out their senses, and they're just listening to that spirit box for any potential words from the ghosts.
So have you seen or heard any other kind of like crazy stories happening like during one of these spirit box sessions?
Absolutely. We've gotten names. So when we were doing our spirit box session here the other night, we actually got the name Samuel. Samuel was Samuel Bradstreet, Captain Samuel Bradstreet. He built this brick home in the 1850s. We also got some other interesting names. We asked, could you name one of your children? And we got Susanna.
Oh my goodness. So like, does this happen like pretty regularly, like all the time? Like people just come in here every now and then and just have these random encounters?
Absolutely. Guests on our ghost dinners, guests of just the speakeasy in the restaurant. They also have a paranormal investigation team that comes in and they do their own investigations and they get a lot of evidence. This is a very active place.
Now, Kelly, can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the speakeasy part of this restaurant?
Absolutely. So we built this last August. Likely there was a speakeasy in this building during the 1920s. It would have been in the basement, but we didn't want to hang out down there. So we built it upstairs. This was just a storage room, so we decided to build it in here, a place for us to do some of our cocktail classes, some of our wine tastings, and every Friday night we do a bourbon and whiskey tasting. So once we built it, then it became a place that became very active. As a storage room, nothing happened. When we named it the Bradstreet, all of a sudden there was whistling, these mirrors started moving, and all sorts of noises started happening in here. My office is right on the other side of here, so I hear it all the time. I'll come in my pencil all day on the ground just so you guys like that. I'll say, I'm in.
Now that kind of wants me, I want to lead into my next question with that. So you've been the owner of the Union Tavern for how long?
A little over 6 years. We opened right before the pandemic.
That's awesome. Now, can you tell us, like, do you have any other stories that you've seen or any moments that just kind of spooked you a little bit? And like while you're being here, kind of like the pencils moving around, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say nothing's really spooked me. It's just, it all feels very, like a lot of energy. I'm not one to see things. I do have staff that have seen things. But things that happen to me, I smell things. There's a spot downstairs that we often smell cigar smoke. Back by the kitchen, they have people saying that they smell baked goods, which is a much nicer smell, of course. I hear things. There's times where it sounds like somebody's dragging a box. So very specific noises. Like I said, in here we hear whistling. There is definitely an energy that kind of protects us on the stairs. We've had many times where things have happened where one of us might fall, and for various reasons we just don't. So it's a lot of protection, I think, happens here.
That really interests me because I feel like, and if you were to be like in a haunted building and stuff like that, on a staircase is like prime real estate for a spirit to just kind of like mess with you. Maybe you could trip or fall like as you're walking up the steps and fall flat on your face. I do that anyways, but that's interesting that you say it feels like an energy protected on the staircase. Can you elaborate on there?
I always say I'm the clumsiest person in the world, and you carrying food up and down on those stairs on a Friday night. If I haven't fallen, that's proof positive that ghosts exist. But yeah, we think it's a young boy named Elijah. We call him Little Buddy. There's little toys that we bring him that are along the ledge there, and we think that he's there to protect us.
Wow. I wouldn't have never guessed that, but that is so cool. Again, like just the thought of being protected on staircase, that's really, really cool.
So this is our spirit box. It's basically a modified radio that is meant to just sort of scan the airways at a fast pace. And this can allow the spirits to speak. They can get certain words through to you. And this is what we were using for our Estes method when OIS was blindfolded, had the headphone drawn. He is listening for words through the spirit box as me and another person, Callie, were asking questions of the ghosts.
Okay, now, me personally, like the only kind of tools I can think of, like whenever I think about like ghost hunting and trying to get in contact with ghosts, is like stuff I've seen like on Ghost Clusters and stuff like that. They're a little, you guys don't have any of those like cool
We don't have
backpacks?
any proton packs, unfortunately, but we're not trying to trap the ghosts. We're just trying to communicate with them, human to human.
Gotcha. So how does it typically work for somebody to do like how did you say the box session, the scene box? Spirit box session.
So it's actually pretty easy. So you can just turn it on and listen and ask questions, or you can do the Estes method, which is what we did, or one person is kind of set into sensory deprivation so they can really listen to the radio waves as another person asks questions.
That makes a little bit more sense. Like like you put a blindfold on, so like headphones on, so that makes more sense. But okay. What about that little box that's right in?
But this is an ovilus, and basically it's an EMF meter combined with a little dictionary. So the ghosts can use their EMF to bring words out of the dictionary so they can potentially speak to you.
So what's it doing right now?
Right now it's kind of calibrating.
Okay, I got so scared for like half a second. I was like, oh my gosh.
But we've got names on here, both our own names and names of spirits that we have been able to confirm are here. Yeah, it's pretty eerie. This one I can't explain.
What?
Cow. Maybe there's a ghost cow. I don't know.
Well, the Bradstreet farmers had a big farm.
Say that again?
The Bradstreets had a big farm here. They had about 177 acres.
All right. Folks, this is the point where you're going to see me start to get a little bit scared, but you know what? It's okay. We're in it together. This is how much I care about this audience. So, oh my goodness. Okay. We're just listening right now. The jukebox downstairs just turned on. If I'm counting, nobody here went downstairs to turn on the jukebox. I kind of want to go check it out to see what kind of music taste this ghost might have. I guess it's into y'alternative. Folks, I'm not kidding. Like, it just turned on out of nowhere. Plug sway. Kelly, do you know if this is like on a sensor or like a timer?
It will recycle and turn on.
Does it happen like regularly or? Oh, hey, what? Okay. Folks, it's at this moment in time where you really like question a lot of your life decisions and. Okay. I've seen horror movies like this. Can't make this up, okay? The bell that was just upstairs that we were just putting that part of the tools with that Tim brought with us, it's going off right.
That's a real person.
Woo! Okay. Telephone on, guys. This is no joke. Okay, the bell that was just upstairs that we were looking at, like the spirit box stuff, it's dinging right now as we're down here. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we're actually going to go downstairs and go check out the place underneath it and see what we can find downstairs.
If I don't see you, tell my family I love them. Okay. To the right. Okay. Down the creepy stairs. Those are always words I want to hear, Jenny. After you. Yep, go ahead. After you. No, yeah, after you. Yep, go ahead. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay. Down we go through the not at all terrifying part of this lovely Union Tavern.
How does it feel to be tall?
Right about now, it's okay. Could be worse. Oh God.
It always creeps me out going like standing over this thing.
Okay. So, we are now in the lovely, cheery part of the Union Tavern. Now, Jenny, what can you tell us about the downstairs area here?
Absolutely. So this is the original basement from around 1820 that Sylvester Woodman and his wife Abigail built. So this predates the structure above, which is from the 1850s. And there are a lot of rumors of what occurred down here throughout all those decades, from Underground Railroad to Prohibition to murders.
I'm so scared right now. I'm kidding. Okay, so what kind of, you said prohibition, stuff like that. Now, there's a little bit of history in the state of New York with prohibition. Can you tell me how that relates with the Union Tavern?
Absolutely. So if you look right over here on this wall, you'll see this one really large stone and the rest of this field stone wall. And we believe this is a tunnel that could have served multiple purposes. So first would have been in the 1860s during the Underground Railroad. This was very possible a tunnel for people to move in and out of this safe house. This was known to be a safe house during the Underground Railroad days. And then, of course, Prohibition comes in the 1920s, and Rochester did not run dry thanks to Canada and many speakeasies and places to brew alcohol. And it's believed that this is one of those speakeasies that may have brewed their own alcohol down here. And this tunnel could have moved people, it could have moved kegs.
Okay. Now, I did hear a little bit in my research as well. There are some legends about cold spots in this building and specifically in the downstairs area. So for those not aware, can you tell us a little bit about what cold spots are?
Yeah, so cold spots are sometimes associated with ghosts. Ghosts, when they want to manifest, they kind of suck the energy out of the air around them, and that's going to typically drop the temperature several degrees. You may get a 10, 20 degree difference all of a sudden, and people have felt that in this room, as well as this light has been known to go off. I had an entire tour down here one night. I was talking about this tunnel, and all of a sudden the light goes off. And I went up to Kelly after the tour and I said, hey, really funny, thanks for turning off the light. And she says, I don't even know where the switch is. We still have not found where that switch is.
So this light just like stays on by itself until...
And it'll just randomly turn off sometimes, yeah.
Well, I mean, at least it's on now, so that's a plus. So it gives us a little bit more of what we can see around here. Now, I've also heard you mention something about murders happening down here. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to turn it over to Elias, an X9 Paranormal, and he can tell you about what he's felt down in this basement.
All right, Elias, what can you tell us down here?
Well, isn't it spooky?
No, it's cheery. What are you talking about?
Well, when I did the first investigation here, I came into the room and I got a really big heaviness. So the way that mediums work is that they take the information, like the spiritual information of the place, and would say that we're all a super consciousness, just like what, Tesla would say that we're energy, frequency, and vibration, which is why we could, as a medium, kind of decipher some of the messages that are bringing through to my brain, and I can feel it with the energy in my body. And that's why the EMF reader and the bell can ding, because energy gets transferred to that specific box and it can communicate with us in some way.
Got it. So it kind of like just bunches up and like comes out like one quick outburst, so that way we're able to like view it and stuff like that.
And definitely. And then when you get into a place like this, there's a bunch of energy here, a lot of spirit. So for me as a medium, I can really feel that. And when I went through the building, and especially over this spot, I felt like I walked over somebody's grave. So, as a paranormal investigator, as a medium, we go to cemeteries a lot, and you're like, damn, I don't really want to step over this person's grave because I want to be respectful. And it kind of gave me that same impression. So that psychic impression was very loud to me. Okay. And then a week later, Jenny did another investigation here, and another medium said the same thing. So
say like you're walking over the grave, like you felt that.
Someone died here. Wow. Yeah.
I have a fun little ghost story for you. So one of the previous owners during the Reunion Inn days, his name was Steve, and Steve came down these stairs to get a case of beer from this cooler right behind me. And he said when he got to the bottom of the stairs, he felt these bony hands grab his shoulder. And of course this startles him. He decides instead of running upstairs, he would run into the beer cooler behind me. And he closed this door and he waited, he said probably about 20 minutes till he was a bit too chilly. Kind of summons up the bravery. He throws open the door, he runs upstairs, and he was the type to not think about this much. He didn't like the whole ghost thing, wasn't his thing. Some time goes by, he needs something from down here again. So he decides to send another employee down. That employee comes down, gets to the bottom of those stairs, bony fingers grab the shoulder. He too decides to run into this beer cooler, close the door for a while, eventually throws open the door, goes upstairs, but he's a little more vocal. And he says, hey, boss, Steve, I had the weirdest experience down in the basement, and he recounts exactly what happened. Steve realizes same exact thing had happened to him previously, and they're both named Steve, so if your name's Steve, you might want to stay out of this basement.
Noted. I guess I'm in the clear, guys. All right.
Let's start bringing a sacrificial Steve. I know a couple.
After you.
For the food, stay for the spirits. That's our tagline.
That's all. The bell just dinged again, guys. This has never happened before. It's so great. Now,
Cute. That's a good sign. It can bring you deep.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, for the viewers at home, they who watched the first episode, when I lived back in Charleston, South Carolina, I did ghost tours, like around the city. So people would ask me all the time, like, have you ever done like other ghost tours and stuff like that? I'm like, dude, I push my luck as is with these ghosts right now. So I'm not trying to push my luck any further. So I guess if they like me, it's a good thing.
Right.
Now, Jenny, I'm sure you have heard some pretty abnormal stories, like from people who are just coming in for a good time, just trying to get a couple drinks, maybe a little bit of food, anything like that. But have they gotten in for a little bit more than they signed up for?
Oh, absolutely. There have been paykeys that come and they sit at the bar and they might feel a tap or a tug on their clothing. One person told me they saw their glass just slowly move across the bar. I myself have been sitting at the far end of the bar and there's a cabinet behind the bar and I watched as the door just sort of like that. Why is he making throw?
Now, before we get out of here, is there any kind of last little message that you want to add to our viewers at home so when they're watching this, they're going to be like, yeah, I definitely want to check out Union Tavern?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very energetic building. Nothing is scary. It's fun. Bring kids. I think that our spirits really enjoy when there are young people here. If you can't come to one of the events, just reach out through social media or through the website. I'm always happy to give people tools through. There are so many great events through Jenny and through MCPI and all the stuff that we put on. We'd love to have you guys check it out.
And Jenny, can you add a little bit more on like what kind of stuff you do for Union Tavern, like what kind of tours you go through?
Yeah, absolutely. So this October on Mondays, you have dinner and ghost stories here, and you tell you the history, the ghost stories, and then afterwards you do a little paranormal investigation and get them going in the basement. And then throughout the year, we sometimes see events on different special holidays like Irondequoit.
MK. Well, we really cannot thank you guys enough for letting us come in here to see everything and experience way more than what I thought with the bell ringing, the stuff, the words popping up on the box, just getting chills like all down my back when I was going down there in that little basement area, but it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys both so much.
Well, guys, that was a lot more than I initially expected. With the spirit bell going off, the jukebox turning on, just getting chills all throughout the building, especially being down in that little dungeon area down in the basement. That was really creepy, but it was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a good time as we explored the Union Tavern. Now come back next week for episode 3 of Flower City Frights. Until then, I'm Dawson Levan with Channel 8 News.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.